Good morning, friends. Once again, welcome to the Aakar Foundation. Today, in the Aakar Explained series, we will learn about Iran's nuclear deal, that is Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, called as a JCPOA. See, recently, Iran MPs, that is Member of Parliament, set conditions for the nuclear deal. And as you can see in the newspaper, they seek guarantee nations won't pull out of the pact or trigger snapback mechanism. So let's understand what is this JCPOA, that is Iran nuclear deal. See, this deal was signed in 2015 by Iran and several world powers, including the United States. The JCPOA placed significant restrictions on the Iran's nuclear program in the exchange for sanctions relief. Under its terms, Iran agreed to dismantle much of its nuclear program, which was considered as a threat to the regional stability, and open its facilities to more extensive international inspections in exchange for billions of dollars worth of sanctions relief. But why the deal happened? On one hand, the proponents of the deal said it would help prevent the revival of the Iran's nuclear weapons program, considered as a threat to the regional stability because of the rivalry between Iran and other Middle East powers like Saudi Arabia as well as Israel also, and thereby reduce the prospects of conflict between Iran and its regional rivals, including Israel and Saudi Arabia. United States intelligence officials estimated that in the absence of an agreement, Iran could produce enough nuclear material for a weapon in few months. So as I said, negotiating nations feared that Iran's move to become a nuclear weapon can threaten the regional stabilities and put it into the new regional crisis. But it can again spill over to become a world crisis. Israel had already taken preemptive military action against the suspected nuclear facilities in Iraq and Syria, and it was feared that it could do the same in Iran also. And this could again lead to the rivalry between Lebanon-based Hezbollah and leading to the disruptions to the transport of oil in the Persian Gulf, having impact on the world economy. Why did Iran agree to the deal? As I have already told you, Iran was suspected to be developing its nuclear program. So major powers, including United States and European Union, as well as United Nations, have imposed the economic sanctions on the Iran, and it estimated to have cost it tens of billions of the pounds a year in lost oil export revenues. So given this huge loss, as well as billions in overseas assets which were frozen, Iran agreed to the deal. Now, who were the participants? So this JCPOA went into effect in January 2016 and imposes restrictions on Iran's civilian nuclear enrichment program. At the heart of the negotiations with the Iran were the so-called P5+1 countries, and these were 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, who were China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, United States, and Germany. So these nations were called as the P5+1. The European Union also took part. Now, as you have seen in the news, the snapback mechanism. So what is this snapback mechanism? So if any signatory suspects Iran is violating the deal, then the United Nations Security Council may vote on whether to continue the sanctions relief. That is, if Iran violates the deal, then the sanctions will be imposed again. This snapback mechanism remains in effect for 10 years, after which United Nations sanctions are said to be permanently removed. In 2020 April, United States tried to impose sanctions once again. So it announced its intention to snap back the sanctions, but P5 members opposed this because United States had already left the deal in 2018. Now, what is the role of the United Nations Security Council in this deal? See, the United Nations Security Council had adopted a resolution in 2015 called as a Resolution 2231, and it includes what is known as snapback provision that could reinstate those sanctions if other parties to the agreement complained that Iran was cheating. Such a step would likely doom the agreement. Now, why has US pulled out of the deal? It was because the previous President Trump argued that the deal was flawed because it gives Iran access to billions of dollars, but does not address Iran's support for groups the United States considered as a terrorist like Hamas and Hezbollah. They note it also doesn't curb Iran's development of the ballistic missiles. They say Iran has lied about its nuclear program in the past also. So now the deal has been in the jeopardy since the United States President Donald Trump withdrew the United States from it in 2018. Now there are efforts going on to revive the deal, given the change in the president in the United States also. So this was mainly about the Iran's nuclear deal. We will meet again tomorrow with a new issue. Till then, goodbye and take care.